Hello and good evening and welcome to Mildenhall Live, or should I say Mildenhall and Volmer Live. I would like to welcome everybody to my stream and the first stream of the new year. And today is a bit of a YouTube pick-me-up, just because I just thought I'd catch up with a few people and see what's going on in the world and catch up with some of you fellow YouTubers. And today's going to be a bit of a kind of mixed bag, really. I've got a new logo, which is currently running. I've only got the one running today at the moment. I've also got some announcements to do, and this is also a test. So there's a few things to sort of, and there's also an announcement. That was something else to just talk to you about. So I might as well tell you what's been happening and what's new. And basically what's new is that I have a new blind. So hopefully my daytime streams are going to be less kind of like with all the sun sort of glare and all the rest of it. Hopefully that will now be kind of like a thing of the past to try and get rid of the glare. So that's something that I've installed. It's not actually railway related, but it is actually in a sort of skyy colour, more of an overcast kind of colour. So it would just kind of blend into the sky. So that's one thing. Also, I have got a class 158, my new class 158, which is currently running on track. As you can probably just see, it's just passing me now. And so hopefully I can hear it, I can sort of, I can see people's chats. So I'm not sure what's going on yet, or whether anyone can say anything. Here we go. Diesel and Freight Spotter, hello, in Kent. And how are we this evening? I was beginning to think that maybe the comments or the chat was disabled or everything. I'm sorry, it's not exactly much of a notice, but actually it's a bit more of a notice. Hello, Cotters Moore Dave, how are we doing? So welcome to the stream. I did put up a little something on YouTube and saw on Facebook earlier to say I was going to go online. So this is only going to be, this is actually a test as well. Oh, good. Well, I've had a bit of a kind of a yo-yo kind of week, and so hello, Beatonhoff Junction. So as the title suggests, a YouTube pick me up is to sort of say hello to all my friends here on YouTube, and just to touch base with everybody. Like I said, in terms of what's been done on the layout, there isn't a huge amount, but I'm going to go through. Hello, Anthony from Strathmore Junction, and welcome to the stream. And Anthony, I did watch your video today, so I haven't had a chance to reply to it or put a comment on it, but well done on the container terminal, because that's coming along nicely. Yes, it does. It does have sound, and I will go through it shortly. So what I wanted to sort of say to you is basically one of the reasons for doing this live stream is since I moved into my brand new property, being this property, I've had problems with internet. And hello, Richard from New Junction, and welcome to the stream. And basically, I've had the kind of crappy dial-up kind of thing. Well, it's not dial-up, but you know, the really cheap and nasty broadband. And I couldn't get fibre broadband because there was no space in the cabinet. And I finally, BT have contacted me to say that I can have fibre finally into this flat, which I had in my previous place, but not here. Hello, Wilbury Castle, Fred. I hope you are feeling well, and it is so nice to meet you and see you again last week, which is something else I did. So I saw Fred and Tony Northeastern last week at the Southampton Model Railway exhibition, which wasn't actually in Southampton, it's actually in Eastleigh, but it was nice to catch up with Fred and Tony Northeastern. So I finally, just to finish off the story, I basically got my broadband up and running today. So hopefully uploading my videos will be a lot quicker. Yes, I'm in Alton tomorrow. That's something else I was going to bring up. You beat me to it, Fred. Yes, I will be in Alton tomorrow. Are you going tomorrow, Fred? because I'm going with Gary from Cheeky Tech. So me and Gary will be going over, and so it'll be nice to see you if you wish. But we'll be going there, I think, for the afternoon because of. Oh, you got yourself a Lee McCrane. Yes, I did see that. Good, good. Well, we're going to be there, Fred, from about midday, so it's going to be an afternoon jobby. So, you know where I am. So if you fancy coming here first, then please use Messenger. You can messenger me, and we can arrange something via Messenger. So it's going to be me and Gary going from here, and we're going to be going there for about midday-ish, 1 o'clock, that sort of time. I think it's going to be more like midday. So if you are interested, Fred, please let's contact me via Messenger, and because you think you've been here before anyway, so you can probably just park your bike out, and then we'll all just go together. So that'd be cool. Yes, I did. You did mention that you did get your Lee McCrane and Anthony, and you were debating on a colour scheme. So what we'll do is I'm going to just quickly shunt you over to the other side. Hello, New Builds Model Railway. Thank you. Yes, yes. So this is my crane, just in case, and just to give Anthony some ideas if he wanted some. And basically, if you are stuck for ideas, Anthony, a good place to go is to go to Google, do some Google images, look at some cranes, see if there's any sort of styles or colours that take your fancy. That's kind of what I did with this Freightliner one. I did that. I just Googled it, and I got inspiration from a crane that was on there, and I took the colour scheme from that. So that's what I'm going to. So that's what I thought. I'd just sort of let you know if that will help you at all. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is my back scenes. As you can see, they all run around the back. They're all coming down. And that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to take them down, but that's going to be quite a big job, because what I'm planning on doing. Oh, okay, so you've kind of got it now. Hello, Graham, and welcome to the stream. So the plan is I'm going to take all these back scenes down. I have discussed it with Gary, and they will be coming down at some point. I loved your latest video. I did actually get to watch it. And thank you for letting me know where the speaker is. My 158 is currently on the track, and I will be doing a little closer detail up with it and tell you all about it shortly. So just to finish off on the back scenes, I will be taking them down and replacing them, because what I'm going to do is, when I say replacing them, I'm going to make my own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take down all the back scenes, because what I want to do is I'm going to take the weight off the layout, and I'm going to do a big massive mural on that back wall. And also I'm going to spin you around, if I can move my ottoman out of the way. I'm going to spin you around, and I'm also going to cover this wall here to blend in with the roller blinds that's here. So this side is going to be more of an overcast area, and then on this back wall it's going to be more as it is now. But what I wanted to do is take some of the weight off the layout, and also take away some of the joins that are on there as well. So that's kind of what the plan is going to be for that. So that's going to be quite a big job. Also, I should just point out, whilst we just sort of, like I said, I've only got the one train going. I've had a bit of a hiccup this afternoon. That's why we only have one. We have a temporary closure. Oh, the other thing to talk about on the back scenes is I'm going to do something very different. Is I'm going to put a projector screen up on this back wall, on that corner there. And basically what's going to happen is you can just roll it out, and I'm going to spray paint it in that colour. So you'll be able to roll it out, and then when you're not using it, you can roll it back in and have the kitchen open plan again. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So it's going to be quite a big job, that. What paint did I use in my container? That's a very good question, Anthony. Basically, I had a comment from a fellow YouTuber who asked me the exact same thing, and the paint I used was a Revell paint, and it's an acrylic, because I prefer to deal with acrylics than deal with enamels, because I just don't like the smell and it ruins the brushes and you can't use it. It's all a bit of a mess. So I don't like really using enamels if I can avoid it. So this is a Revell enamel, acrylic I should say. And the thing is, the green that's on it was actually a mix, because I had some green left over but it was too bright, so I put some black in it. So just to darken it down a bit. So that's what I've done with the crane. So I've just basically toned down the green to sort of give it a better representation with the green that's on the Freightliner locomotives. So something else I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you something else. Yeah, it is, and I will get onto that very, very shortly, and we'll have a bit more of a close-up on that very shortly, Graham. I love what you've done with the weathering, actually. I was admiring your weathering, and I was thinking, I wish I had those skills to be able to do it. But there's no way in the world I'll touch my 158 with any kind of weathering. So I'm just going to spin you back around onto me for briefly, if I can. Here we go. Right. Right, so here we are. So, like I said, last week I was in Eastleigh, and so when I was in Eastleigh and I caught up with Fred and with Tony, me and Tony were having a little bit of a mooch around, and we come across this. Now, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with this. It's called Town Scene, and this is it. And this is sheet number 1. And you get all of these buildings, and the whole point is it's almost like creating your Pico back scenes but yourself. So you just so basically that's what I'm going to be doing as well, is like I've done before, use the spray can just to give it a general sky. Thank you, Nathan Brown, for your compliment. That's very, very kind of you. Oh, excuse me. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using these and cutting them out. So I bought this at the exhibition, and the thing is, it was so cheap. It was like £3 a sheet, which is really is cheap. And they have all different kind of styles of buildings. So if you're interested in doing that, it's by Freestone Models. Freestone Model Accessories. So if anyone's interested in that, you probably either Google Town Scene background sheets, or maybe Freestone Models Accessories. And so yeah, so let me just do it properly so you get a good close, so you can pause it if you want to watch it again and you want to get the information, so you can just pause it and just take the information off at your leisure, as they say. So I also got, whilst I was there, a tank wagon. Now I'm going to see if I can possibly get my 60s. I've been having problems on the corner, which I need to be addressed. It seems to be that particular 66, and I think it's because it's an older 66. Because I was running my 60s and other locos and it was fine, but the 66 that's attached to it isn't particularly happy. But I'm just going to bring it around just so I can show you the tank wagon. So if we go, yay, it's still working. So let's go to 6625. Right, let's see if I can get this thing to run round. So we're going to see, because I've had a couple of derailment issues which need to be addressed. It's only sort of flared up today, and I'm just going to zoom you in a bit. So that is 66725 in the Barbie GBRF livery. And the reason why I'm just bringing her in, because you've seen these TTA wagons, but see if you can spot the odd one out. There's an odd one out in there since the last video that I've picked up. And it's just coming into shot now. And it's that little diddy white one that's just coming into view now. And basically I picked it up from the Eastleigh, Southampton Model Railway exhibition at Eastleigh last weekend. So I did say I wasn't going to buy anything, but I ended up buying the Town Scene sheet and also this little tank wagon. So if I'm just going to stop it there. It's very much, this is it here. it's very much a very good candidate for weathering, for me to learn some weathering. So if I'm going to experiment with weathering, that will be the wagon of choice that I will be experimenting on, because it is a little bit on the tatty side, but I picked it up for £4, and it's an Amoco one, which goes with the other two Amoco ones which I have. In fact, the one directly behind it is an Amoco one as well. So, so I'm going to be experimenting. So like the generation game, we'll just roll it on. And then we'll have a little look-see at the 158. So just in the meantime, what I'm going to Alton Model Railway exhibition, like I said, tomorrow. So it now seems that Fred will be joining us, as you'll see the 158 just coming into shot now. As that goes trundling off. And then we'll get onto that shortly when it comes round. I'm just going to get rid of the 66. So like I said, I'm hoping that because of my broadband now being up and running, that let's do it like that. Can we go? Yeah, right, okay. So I'm now hoping that because the broadband is up and running now, that the live stream should not be as kind of like juddery or as pixelated and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping it's going to be better quality. Oh, right, okay, cool. Right, so I'm going to show you now my 158. So that's just going to be pulling into shot right now. And it is awesome. To be honest with you, I really did like the East Midlands Trains one as well. That's just kind of... Right, I'm still getting used to this 158, and I'm going to tell you why shortly. Right, let me just turn it around. Sorry about you seeing my face, but I'm just going to get the 158 into prime position, and then we'll show you. Hello, Minsterley. How lovely to hear from you. And Clayton Irish Model Trains, welcome to the stream. Right, so let's turn you around and let's talk about the 158 and my thoughts on the 158. Philip Page, welcome to the stream. Right, so I'm going to sort of crank you down now. And we're going to go to the 158. Right, so here we go. So I'm just going to crank you down, and then we're going to sort of take a little look-see at this baby. Tim from the Scrap Line, welcome to the stream also. Right, so here in front of you is my latest acquisition, and this is the Batman Class 158 in the GWR livery. Now, I was originally, the money that I've spent on this was originally meant to go on my Hatton's Class 66s, which I've since pulled out of, as many of you will know. And hello, Brockwell Lane. No, don't worry. We're still sort of early doors, and so there's no need to apologise. And so I was meant to get the Hatton 66. And I pulled out of that. I was meant to get the Freightliner orange one and the Freightliner pink. But there was things that didn't sit well with me with that, so I cancelled the order, and I decided to prioritise my fleet and get some more passenger rolling stock, because many of you will see that the majority of the time I tend to run freight. And so I bought this. Now, I got this from my local model shop in Alton, the Alton Model Centre, and once again, Paul is absolutely amazing. He's totally fabulous, and it's a fantastic shop. It really is. And originally, I was going to buy this version non-sound fitted, and because money, I was thinking to myself, I'm not sure if I could afford it, and I wasn't just kind of pushing the boat out a little bit. You should, Tim. It's absolutely brilliant. He's such a lovely guy. And he will be open for those of you, if any of you are attending the Alton Model Railway exhibition over the weekend. He will be opening on the Sunday as well. He doesn't normally open on Sundays, but he will be open this Sunday as well as tomorrow. So I spoke to him about this 158, and he said to me, which one did you want? He said, do you want the sound one or the non-sound one? And I'm like, well, I'm not really too sure, because money being the way it is, and I wasn't too sure. So he basically said to me that he then sold out of the sound one, and he only had the non-sound one. And he said to me, "What you could do? This is my last non-sound one. If you want it, you can just pay a small deposit, and then by the end of the month, you can pay it off or whatever." Um, yeah, and so therefore, I decided to say, yeah, I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity, because I don't know if any of you know, but Bachmann are changing their strategy of selling their products now, from what I've been told. And Paul kindly informed me, he said, look, going forward, any Bachmann products that you may be interested in the future are going to be more limited in numbers in which they produce. Because they just don't want stocks sitting around that they don't sell and all the rest of it. So a lot of stuff going forward by Bachmann, regardless of what it is, apparently the numbers are going to be smaller in the running amounts that they're making, the production runs, I should say, are going to be more limited. And if that's the case, it means you're going to have to snap up things rather quickly if you want them. And that's hence why I kind of pushed the boat out and I went, okay, I'm going to take this non-sound fitted one. So I went to pick it up yesterday, and I then kind of thought to myself, you know what, I really want a sound one. But he'd actually, when I popped in to tell him that I was still going to go ahead with the purchase, he actually said to me that he's got one. Yeah, it is worth knowing. Kind of Hornby kind of do that already. Dapple take a different view with their products, which I think is the best approach personally. For example, the HIA wagons that they did, when they sold out, they just made another batch. So that was good. But a lot of the batches that the production runs now, especially with Hornby and with Bachmann, Hornby were always more or less like that. And I think Bachmann have now changed their tune and are doing that as well. So that's what he said to me. Going forward, if you want anything by Bachmann, don't leave it too long, is what he basically said to me. And he told me that he'd come across and he managed to get hold of one last sound fitted Class 158. And this is it. Because I was thinking of going to see Kevin at Coastal DCC, who I get a lot of my chips from. And he's done the chip for my 66, he's done the chip for my 50s, and he does great service and great sound. And I was going to get the chip from him tomorrow. But because the factory sound fitted one is actually cheaper by £20 actually. So if I wanted the more custom sound file, I'd have to pay an extra £20 basically to make the difference up. So I paid £2.97 for this, and this was the last sound fitted one. And this is totally factory. I wasn't going to go for this one. Like I said, I was originally going to get the non-sound fitted one, and I then was going to put my own sound in it later. However, Paul, being the way he is so lovely and he's so kind that I said to him, he said, I've got this sound fitted one here. And I said, well, I asked him, I don't suppose there's any chance of me listening to it. And he went, yeah, that's fine, you can listen to it. So rather than listening to it through YouTube and people reviewing it on YouTube as such, I could actually physically hear it for myself, which is hence why this particular 158 is here, because I managed to hear it for myself whilst it was in the shop before making the commitment to actually purchase it. So, what are the functions here on this 158? So let's start going through the functions. And all in all, I'm pretty impressed with the function list because you get 28. And some of it I kind of feel you should be able to listen to. You should be able to listen to before you start the engine, which is kind of a bit weird because it's like, for example, function 25 is the AWS warning test, and then you got the remote telephone test, which I feel is normally done before the 158 is started. But if I do that function, it won't work unless the engine is running. So let's just fire her up. So I'm going to keep quiet for a second and let her fire up. So she's now firing and starting up. Now, the only thing I would say about this, and a few people have made the comment, is that the volume is just a touch on the low side. But there are volume controls on this, which is shift 27 and 28, function 27 and 28, to increase and decrease. I haven't got real track products, but I do love Batman products, and I think, like many people have echoed, I think this 158 is just exceptional, and many people have echoed that sentiment. So the weird thing about this is that I find strange that if you were to do this properly in terms of in what I think startup procedure, you would, instead of going function 2, 3, 4, 5, I'd actually start, once you started it, with the AWS test sequence. So if basically the train is in the siding and you're going to take it out into service for the first time, that you'd be running these procedures before some of the others. So I'm going to do shift 25. And I think that's actually gone to shift 22. Now you can hear that in the background, and you can hear it's like this, the ambience. So that is, it's also got station ambience, and that is actually function 22, which is inadvertently come up. And then there is the remote telephone test, which is 23, which again I think I would do first before you take the train into service. I don't know if you could hear that, it seemed a bit low, but I can actually hear it. Now, as a bus driver myself, I know that before we take a bus out on the road, we've got to do our own checks and our own procedures. And it's the same as for train drivers. You don't just get straight into the cab and just take it straight out. You've obviously got to do your procedures and checks. So that's why I think that function 23, which is the remote telephone test, which I've just done, and the AWS 25 should be done before the train even goes out. Now, I won't do function 2 because that's got to be shown whilst the train is moving. So function 3 is the single horn. Function 4 is the two-tone horn. And again, I think it's really, really prototypical. Hello, Peter. Welcome to the stream, and thank you. I'm glad you like the 158. Now, F5 is light engine, so I'm not exactly sure what that means entirely. And F6 is engine idle coasting, so I took mine, it took me about an hour to add all the functions into the Z21. Like I said, this is direct from the function list. So I'm guessing the engine idle is going to be coasting, is like once the train is moving and you just kind of let it run. Flange squeal is F7, which again you probably can only, I don't know if you can, again that doesn't work unless the train's moving. Now the doors opening and doors closing, which I like, look out for the LEDs. I don't know if you can notice the LEDs just there. So I'm going to shut the doors, and to shut the doors you press F8 again. And I love the way it fades out. It just doesn't just go out, it just fades out really nicely. And I really like that. That's a really nice little touch. Right, so F9 is the passenger compartment lights, which is that. So what I'm going to do is, don't despair, I'm going to try and turn the lights off to see if you can get a good view of the compartment lights. Let's see if they will illuminate. My apologies if yeah. Can you imagine how much that will put on the cost of the detail of a locomotive if they put moving doors in it? So there you go. And again, I love the way that this illuminates and turns on. It doesn't just go on and off. It's just fades in and fades out, which is absolutely brilliant. And And also, it's just I tell you what, for a standard sound, I think it's really cool. You get a lot for your standard sound, I think. So again, you've got the illuminated interior. I love the passenger seating. That's also nicely picked out with the GWR green. I'm just going to leave it in this kind of lighting mode for now. You can have the guard's whistle, which is function 10. So that's it. He only does it once. Right, so then we've got the driver's buzzer, and you can have it in function 11 and 12, because in function 11, the guard and the driver's buzzer is just single tone, and function 12 is dual tone, and I prefer the function 12, but I'll let you listen to both. So this is I don't know if you heard that, and that's the response. So we'll do that again. Right, so that's a single one, but I prefer the double one myself. Right, so that's the double one. So that's the guards and driver's response. Engine speed up. Now, like again, I've only just got this yesterday, so I haven't really got to grips with all of it. So that sounds like thrash. So I'm guessing that's like the thrash kind of thing. So we'll have a little play with that. Right, directional lights. It has day and night mode apparently. So let's try that. And let's go. This is where it kind of gets a bit funny. Oh, it does indeed, which is a really nice touch. Right, so I'm going to try and get you onto the. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Just to demonstrate it. Yeah, well, if you want overcrowded passengers, I've seen Graham's latest video. He's actually started putting passengers on his 158, and that looks absolutely awesome, spot on. I'd love to do that, but I don't think I have the. I think I'd be too scared, to be honest with you, to do it. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to see if I can. Get this over here somehow to get a bit closer in to see if I can somehow demonstrate the function of the day and night modes. Right, so here we go. Sorry if it's a bit grainy, because obviously the lighting is on because I'm trying to keep it to demonstrate the functions. In fact, what I'll do is I'll see if I can demonstrate it. I'm going to take you off actually. So I'm just going to pull you out. I'm going to take you off the tripod. So bear with me a second. Right, this will be a better view. Right, this is cool. Right, my apologies. Right, so we all good with that? I think it's okay. Right, so this is actually on the night mode. So I'm going to put it back onto the day mode, so you can see it. So you can see if you can see it. So shift 1 and 4. I don't know if you noticed that. We'll just do it again. So you can sort of see that there's a shift in the headlights. So yeah, so that's great. I think that's a really nice touch. So that's back onto daytime. And so I'm going to put you back onto the tripod. My apologies, everyone. See, this is why I like to leave it on the tripod, because it's so much easier. Right. Right, what's next? Cab lights. And it says cab lights off, on, direction dependent, and it's auto off as well. This is something else that you can do. So the cab lights will come off. We've got this on the buses as well, where obviously when we're driving our buses, we're not supposed to drive with the cab interior lights on. So once the bus hits a certain miles an hour, I think it's like 2 or 3 miles an hour, the sensor senses that the bus is moving and will automatically switch off the cab lights. And it's the same with this train. So you can switch the cab lights on, and let me see if I can demonstrate it with it. Right, so let's see, cab lights is shift 15. And I'm not sure if that's on or not. I can't really see for myself. Shift 1 5. Right, so the cab light is on, but you can see it's not on the direction of travel. It's actually on at the other end. This is something that Graham had picked up on his video this afternoon about wanting to have the direction of travel matching the cab light. So that I think the reason why they do this is because I think the guard sometimes sits at the back of the train, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just going to move the tripod so you can actually see that the cab light is on, and I will zoom in slightly. There you go. You can see it's on. My apologies for my little shaky hand syndrome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it slightly so you can actually see the auto function of it. So what was that speed setting? Increase speed. So let's try it. So right, so brakes have gone off. So there you go, the auto function of the cab lights automatically switch off. So that's what the auto function is of the cab lights, so that's that. So I'm going to switch the light on again, so we can have a better view of everything. Let me just move you back round here. This is one man band. This is. I haven't got no assistance today. I'm on my own. I'm just going to pull you out. Right. Okay. So next on our list we have air conditioning fan. So let's see what that is. I haven't heard, like I said, I haven't tested everything. There you go. So that's the air conditioning fan. And that you'd have to then press again to remove it. You can also have the windscreen wipers if you want that going. That's shift 17. I can definitely hear it. You might not be able to hear it, but I can definitely hear it. It's like a little tick-tock. Let's see if you can hear the tick-tocking. Right, so function 18 is doors opening and doors closing, which I'm not quite sure whether that's different to the doors closing on the other one. So we'll see. So that's number 18. So let's try that, see what that says. I can't see any difference in that, to be honest. I can't even hear anything, so I'm not sure what that's all about. F19 is to fade all the sounds. So that just fades all the sounds. And we go, so now we just bring that back in. Robot Monkey, welcome to the stream. Directional lights off, and I think, I'm not exactly sure why, I guess it's independent, so we'll see what that says. Are we still with me, or have we shut down? It seems like are we still with me? My iPad shut down, so I don't know whether or not I've lost contact with everybody. And we're still going. Can somebody just confirm that we're still alive? I'm not sure if because my iPad went down, so I'm not sure if we're still alive. So shift to 0. The station ambience again, which is shift 22. Oh, good. Thank you, Graham. So this is the station ambience. Thank you, Beatenhoff. Thank you for letting me know. Just my iPad went down and I'm not sure. I thought I lost connection. So this is the station ambience. And 23 was the remote test sequence, which I just showed you at the beginning, and then we've also got the detonators, which is 24. So that's the detonators. Right, and 25 was the AWS, which I showed you at the beginning. 26 is a non-function, and then F27 and 28 are the volume up and down. Now, I still think this could probably benefit with a louder speaker. So let's just give her a little run. Now, I didn't mention F2 because there's a reason why I didn't mention F2. And this, on the Batman standard one, F2 is actually strange because F2 is normally like it's usually one of the more. It's not really useful. I can't remember what they normally use. I think it's lighting or something. But anyway, it's usually a lighting function. I think is F2. But on here, it's actually brakes. So we're going to just set her off. Now, according to the instructions, the best way to play with your train. That's cool, Graham. And the best way to play with this train, according to the instructions, is if you use the speed step 128 function. So obviously you've got 14, 28, and then you've got 128. So I'm just going to let it run around the layout. So it says the best way to actually get the best out of the 158 is to run it on the 128 speed step function, which is what we're doing right now. And it does change gear as well, so you can hear it change up. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Just messenger me, Fred. So I'm just going to let it run. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut it down. As you can hear the gearbox change. And you can see it's on 0, but the train is actually running. And to stop the train, you have to press the 2. That's what function 2 is. So that's which takes a bit of getting used to, because normally you just turn the dial to 0, the train will just stop. And if you want to adjust the CVs, you then would normally adjust the CVs to get the acceleration and the acceleration and deceleration to a point that you want to do it. So we'll just do that again, and I'll demonstrate it to you again. Now it's going to go quite quick, quicker than I would normally run it. But you can see it's at 76. Now I'm going to... Now obviously I should have... It's actually just stopped here. So that's where it's just stopped. Because I just pressed it too late. So we'll send it around again. But just to show you, that's how the brakes work, which I really like. The problem is when you've got one locomotive that does that and all your others don't, it can be a bit confusing. So we'll just send her around again. I'm based basically down south, near Basingstoke. I'm going to the Autumn of the Railway exhibition tomorrow. It's not one of the biggest, not by any stretch of the imagination. There we go. Let's see if we can get it. So you can see my kitchen in the background. Yeah, so I'll be going to Autumn on the Row exhibition. I believe Stafford is also on this weekend. Right, so yeah, so that's kind of like the demo of my 158 in live form. If anybody would like to ask any questions about it, now's the time to ask. And because it's really just try and get people's perspective on things. Because there's a lot of reviews out there about the 158, but I have to say I'm super impressed with it. Paul Higgins, welcome to the stream. Oh, okay, yeah, the class 20 set in the the permanent wave set, was it? Or my last stream was actually my last thing I did was with the DBSO actually. So I can actually bring that round. Does anyone want to see the DBSO? Because if you do, what I'll do is I'll put the 158 into the station. I'll bring the 37 round with the DBSO. So I'm just gonna, I'll stop the 158 in the station and I'll bring the DBSO round. Excuse me. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be meeting up with Gary from Cheeky Tech, and by the looks of things I'll be meeting with Fred. It sounds exactly the same as a 158, it sounds absolutely awesome. Right, so I've just shut that down and I'm going to bring the DBSO round so you can have a look. In the meantime, I'll let you just have a little pan round of the layout. And whilst that's up to you, really. I'm still kind of, yes, I do know Lip Hook. Lip Hook is on the number 13 route. It's the other side of Borden. So I do know of. Bear with me a minute. I'm just trying to get the DBSO working on. Bring that round onto my layout. So bear with me a minute, folks, whilst I just do some checking, and that will be there. Okay, so I'm going to bring the DBSO round. So yeah, Lip Hook isn't. It's my part of the world. Lip Hook is definitely my part of the world. So if you are going to Robot Monkey, if you do want to go to Autumn exhibition, it is tomorrow. I do try and attend my local ones if I can. So right, loco. Let me just 3721. Enter. Lights. Camera action. Right, so it's just on its way. So bear with me a minute, everybody. And it's just making its way now into the picture, as you can see. And here is the DBSO. So I'm not sure if this is the set that you actually meant. My iPad's just currently in the way. So the middle coach is a Hornby release. The end coach is one that I made myself, and the DBSO was something brilliant which Michael Lawrence did for me, and I'm forever grateful to him for doing that for me, because I've been after one for such a long time. So now that's on there, I just need to double check to make sure I'm doing things properly so we don't have any nasty derailments. So we'll just bring that around. And hopefully I'm going to try and get rid of this iPad a bit, because it's kind of a bit. Yeah, well basically the number 13 bus from Stagecoach is operated from the same depot. as I work from. I'm just going to turn you around onto the back of this 37 because I've actually fitted the snow ploughs onto it as well. And that's how it's kind of going to remain, really. And yeah, I do know White Hill. It's not a million miles from me. Okay, well, thank you, Mildenhall, and thank you for joining in. I really appreciate it. We've nearly been going an hour, so we're going to be shutting down soon. And in any case, just get my fingers to work properly. Come on, there you go. Sorry about this, everybody. Just trying to, yeah. So yeah, this is a lovely little set now. I've got some other coaches as well to go with it. I might still eventually at some point maybe get another 37 so I can do a top and tail. Yeah, and like I said, it's has anyone got any questions to ask? Because I'm going to wrap this up shortly, because we've been actually going for 50 minutes, which is longer than I expected, to be honest. So if anyone's got any other questions they'd like to ask, please feel free to do so. Yeah, I do like running this set, but I feel like I've been running it quite a lot, along with my TTAs. Thank you, Robot Monkey. Thanks for your support. Yeah, that's hopefully it'll be fun. It's not. I'll be honest. It's not the biggest exhibition in the world. In truth, is the autumn one. However, it's my local one, so you always got to support your local community, and also because I've got some good local friends that aren't a million miles away from me, including Gary and Fred, and also Tony Northeastern is a million miles away. So it's a good way of keeping in touch with some of your fellow friends and YouTubers. But also this weekend, I believe there is the Stafford Model Railway exhibition, which a lot of people will be going to. Thank you, Alan Corley's Trains. So yes. Thank you for the encouragement. It's always much appreciated. So I'm just going to spin you around now. So that's pretty much about it for today's stream. I say that's pretty much about it, but we've been going for about 50 minutes. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining in today. And it's so lovely to have you join me and share with me in my little YouTube world. And until the next time, it's going to be bye from Mildenhall and Varma. Goodbye.